The Paula Show is on. The Paula Show. Come on, one and all. I extend an invitation to the Paula Show. Join in the conversation. Transforming behavior, recognizing our savior, overcoming hurdles, achieving dreams. Together we can succeed.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's season 12 of The Paula Show, and we're having a blast. Tonight, we've invited Donica Brown to speak with us about brokerage. Brokerage is tough work. Can you imagine folks calling you all night long inquiring about their barrels? Is this a reasonable expectation that you mailed a barrel yesterday and you're inquiring about its arrival today? And a little hint for those persons overseas who are sending barrels to Antigua. The recipients sometimes prefer the money. They're saying it takes too much effort to get to the port, paying taxi, paying port fees, paying shipping fees, and they're not liking the content of the barrel. Donica Brown is going to tell us so much more about brokerage tonight and how sometimes she cries because it really makes her feel, awkward, overwhelmed when we call her and we fuss about our packages. Thank you for staying with us on The Paula Show. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Thank you for staying with us on The Paula Show. Remember to watch The Paula Show via CTV Channel 2 on Tuesday nights at 9 and Sundays there's a rebroadcast at 1 in the afternoon. The Paula Show inspires, entertains, and transforms behavior. Tonight, it's going to be very exciting. We're talking about what I love best. And Donica Brown is here to share valuable information with us. Donica, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to the Paula Show.
Thank you for inviting me as well.
So tell me, darling, what plans did you have for a career? Brokerage?
Oh, plans for a career?
When you were growing up? Brokerage?
Nothing close to brokerage.
So what happened along the way?
What happened? I fell into it.
Oh, it's a hole.
No, actually, I love shopping. And my first job, which was sports booking, gave me some free time. And because I love shopping so much, people used to pay me to travel and shop.
How come nobody's paying me to travel and shop?
It's too expensive now.
But
So
back
the-
then,
but back then-
I had a full-time job that kept me really busy.
Yes, so people actually used to pay me to shop because they used to ask me, where did you go and how did you get this? And I'll just go on a plane, purchase, know where to go, have my everything in order,
And you just shop.
and I just shop for them. They'll
So
make
you,
a list.
You fell into brokerage.
And with that, I used to travel to the States. And I had a partner at the time that was into shipping and said, why you don't open an agency in Antigua? And I was like, no, I have a full-time job. And then it all just came into play. It all just came into play.
Well, girl, I had a shipper. You call it a freight collector in New York. And then my aunt said to me, girl, you've heard about Easy Barrel? I said, Auntie Ronis, what are you talking about? She said, girl, they pick up right away and your goods can be in Antigua in less than 2 weeks. Well, you know me. When I travel, I want to return with everything on the aircraft, but it's not possible. So getting it by the next week or in 2 weeks, that suited my purpose. And then I found out that you're the
agent,
the agent here in Antigua. So worked well for me. Girl, recently I went to Baltimore. Oh, I love to travel. I think later in life I might become a flight attendant. I love to travel. So I went to Baltimore and I decided, similar to my visits to New York, I have to do my barrel shopping.
Oh boy.
What a surprise. Coming out of New York, $100 per barrel. Coming out of Baltimore, $170 per barrel. I said, Lord, these people are restricting me, mightily so. But hear the drama. The barrel wasn't bad. When I asked the agent, what's the cost for shipping a box? Because, you know, everything doesn't hold in the barrel, so you have a spill off in the box. $140.
Yes.
I said, well, no, this box is not going any place. I just told him, please, you know, I need my box.
And you would want to believe that shipping is expensive. No matter how you put it, it is expensive. But what a lot of people fail to realize is where it's coming from.
Yes.
You can't expect something coming from China to be the same as if it's coming from the US. And as well,
That's an unfair,
you can't
that's an unfair comparison,
and you
because
can't,
Baltimore is in the US and New York
yes,
is in the US.
but
China and the US.
we have to keep in mind that it's still a distance from different ports. So whereas it may be coming from Baltimore, your pickup may be from in Baltimore, but then it may have to go to New York, and then from New York to Miami.
So I guess he's charging me for the tolls
You
and the
have
petrol.
to pay for the tolls, the petrol. Sometimes you all have several flights of stairs.
Ain't no flight of stairs. It was just a one-level house. You just had to roll it out. No stairs involved.
But there are charges within the US because it's coming from different cities, okay, and different states. And it always have to exit from a main port. And through those areas, the main port is going to be Miami.
I did ask him via the telephone for an average price for my box. And he wasn't able to share an average price with me.
No, because
I found that very odd.
with boxes, they usually go by cubic measurements. So they're going to come, they're going to measure the full box, and then they're going to multiply.
Imagine shipping large appliances and furniture.
Yes.
It must be very costly.
The agents may have a steady price, okay, but not with the buy agents. All right, they have to go by cubic measurements, and if it's $2 cubic measurement, that's the $2. But they in turn add on to it, so they might charge you $4.
So it's best then to try and fit our purchases into barrels, as opposed to opting for boxes.
It's whichever suits you. It's a personal choice.
We're not only talking about shopping tonight, even though, you know, a little bit of that will be mentioned. Why do we travel overseas? Why do we send barrels? And when we send the barrels, what are our expectations? And when the barrel gets to the port, what happens then? So it's a learning experience tonight on the Paula Show. And we thank you very much for staying with us. Donica Brown, a broker, is here with us. And we'll be right back after this commercial break. Stay with us, please. Our barrels travel for long distances to get, you know, I'm a New York girl, from New York to Antigua. I thought it was just a matter of sending the barrel from New York to Antigua across the Atlantic, but it's otherwise.
No, it's a whole process. You pack your barrel, then you make a phone call. Some persons prefer to pack in a warehouse, others pack at home where they can see everything they're packing.
Take photos.
Take photos.
Capture the items.
Exactly. Stuff that barrel. And then it is picked up. For example, my agency in New York, which is Easy Barrel. When you call, we take all the information necessary, where it's coming from, who it's coming from, what are your items, and the consignee, that's the receiver of the goods. When it leaves your home, it goes to a warehouse. It leaves your home in a pickup truck,
Okay.
a van, a truck,
Yeah.
whatever the situation is, and it goes to a warehouse.
This is still in New York.
This is still in New York. And while in New York, they have to pack a trailer. That trailer now doesn't just
like
have...
what you call a container.
No,
No, not a
trailer.
trailer.
It is a container,
Right.
yes.
Like
but
the trailer trucks on
the
the
trailer
highway,
trucks
those
on the
large
highway.
ones.
You know, the New York
Right.
trailer. Yes, you're on target. You're
Yes,
watching. You're
yes,
looking.
yes.
And so they'll pack it.
Where's
and
it
in
going?
packing, it's going to Miami.
Cross country.
Cross country.
My barrel.
Tolls again. That's why they have to charge. That's why they have to charge.
But why not just send it from the port, New York to Antigua?
No, everything. Most states they send it to Miami, which is an out port, and then it comes to the Caribbean. These items
so my
are
barrels
scanned.
get tossed around a lot.
Let's not put it that way.
Okay.
It doesn't get tossed around a lot, but
sorry.
there's a lot of handling.
Oh, handling. I'm
Handling,
sorry.
yes.
That's the word, handling.
Handling.
When I pack my barrels in New York, I want to make sure I get all the space filled in as much as possible. So I even use the broomstick and
Make
push
space.
things and borrow some, like used clothes from the children to fill in the gaps. But then when my barrel gets to Antigua, sometimes it seems as if someone uncovered it and removed some of the items. I'm seeing space at the top. I didn't leave any space in my barrel. It was rampacked.
Miss Paula, when your
Yes.
barrel leaves your possession, these guys are turning, twisting, trying to make it. So here what? All that other extra space that you didn't find, it appears. And also what happens, it depends on the kind of barrel you use as
Plastic. Plastic.
well. I prefer plastic as well.
Plastic,
But
please.
when you get your barrel,
Yes.
whether it's wooden, whether it's plastic, no matter how you pack it, because of the handling of trying to make sure there's space,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're packed on skids or pallets and they're placed on top of each other inside of a container.
So you're squeezing up my
So
barrel.
yes, your barrel are being well handled, but in position to come to Antigua as soon as possible.
But guess what?
Tell me.
When my barrel is traveling from New York to Miami, that great distance, no wonder sometimes it misses the boat and it comes up a
Yes.
week after or 2 weeks after.
Yes, sometimes there's natural disasters, there are accidents, sometimes things do happen. So we may tell our customers 12 to 14 days. Yes, because here is the scenario. In New York, we try to get it. Even if you call the office on a Monday and they come on a Tuesday, your barrel is not going to leave until the Friday or the Saturday. That truck driver has a time to meet in Miami, and that has to be by the warehouse for 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock when?
12 p.m. the Monday,
So they're leaving New York like the Friday or the
Saturday, to get
So
to
they're
Miami.
driving all
They're
day
driving,
long,
yes.
all night long.
And chances may be one or two may take a bathroom break, and you don't know how the highway is going to be, especially if it's a holiday.
holiday.
They just might miss it.
So why not leave earlier?
Sometimes we try, but then keep in mind, they have families too.
Listen, all I want is my barrel.
All you
12
want is
to
your-
14 days.
I know that.
And then when it gets to Miami,
And it gets to Miami.
another warehouse.
Another warehouse. There's a container now. The real container that is going to
Yes.
come to Antigua with
To be
all these
unstuffed.
to be unstuffed.
Suppose it's full.
Well, it'll sit in Miami just for a couple of days.
When you say a couple of days,
Just a couple of until the following Monday.
so the boats leave each Monday.
No. The container has to be by the seaport to get on the boat by the Wednesday, because the boat is sailing for departure on the Wednesday.
Oh. So there's a method to
There's
everything.
a method to everything. Yes, there is.
So if you're off by a half day, it means your barrel
It's going
might
to
miss
miss it. Yes.
the boat, and
Yes.
that's why it's delayed and we have to wait.
The only difference I can say with some buy agents is that they're not going to wait until a container is full. If it's a loose shipment, they'll send it consolidated
Okay,
with another shipper,
right.
and have you to make sure to ensure
To
to keep the
ensure-
customer
to keep the
to
customer
ship
happy.
again with them,
But listen,
and they'll come straight.
sometimes in those warehouses in Miami, you have a cardboard barrel. Let's say something spills and this barrel starts to fall apart. What happens? Because
Well, That's a part of handling, and I must state this. Most warehouses have security cameras. So in whatever process that the handling is taking, it is recorded. Now, here am I lifting.
My items are spilling out on the
Here
floor.
it is, it's spilling out. Here it is, maybe your whole barrel gets dismantled because the fact is, it's cardboard.
Yes.
It's going to get wet
Yes.
and it might fall apart.
Yes.
The handler is going to take another barrel and put it on. But because they're rushing sometimes, they're rushing to get it, and they may forget to put on a name. They may forget, maybe the name got wet up, so they didn't even get the name,
So-
but they put a sticker.
Okay.
And these are natural things that happen.
So
However,
then when the barrel arrives
so
in
when
Antigua,
it arrives to Antigua, the tally clerk now, when the container is open, and she has a list of what she's supposed to expect. And the tally clerk now sees this no-name barrel. She's going to put no name and an asterisk, received as is. And a mystery person will come and claim for a barrel. However, one of the key things to it is, when you call the agencies, whichever agency you choose to ship
Yeah.
with, it's always good to make a clear declaration. Clear declaration meaning,
what does that mean?
I'm shipping this barrel to Paula Lee. All food stuff, all food items, all detergent, clothing. I'm shipping a TV. You let the shipping agent know exactly what your items
So
are.
there's no name barrel. I should be able to identify the items that I'm expecting.
Yes.
Based on the information that I receive
Receive.
from the sender of the barrel.
That is correct, and especially if you are the sender of the barrel.
Okay, and then the other thing is, I might say, oh, well, not me, but someone might say detergent, food stuff, some used clothing, and then there's some guns and some marijuana.
Well,
What happens then?
The
Because it's your shipment.
that's right.
Aren't you responsible for the barrels?
Well, that's another topic, because what happened here is, if you, Paula, ask me to clear on your behalf, when I go to customs, number one, the paper is going to have a list of what is in there. I'll produce it to the supervisor of customs, but then when I go with the customs officer to the barrel, and illegal weapons are in there, illegal drugs are in there,
You're in trouble?
I'm in trouble because I'm declaring on your behalf.
So do you do that? You declare on people's behalf?
Yes, people have to give me permission to do so. And that's why I do not clear, I do not enter any barrel, box, or item
But even
unless I get
but
permission.
even when they offer the permission and you're declaring and clearing on their behalf,
I will still be the one in trouble because I am the one representing you. So unless they find you, I'll be held with the police and customs until you are found. So
And
don't try to skip the aisle.
and you're not concerned about that?
Of course, brokers are concerned. This happened to any person.
But this is a dangerous job.
Very dangerous.
I prefer plastic barrels because of that very reason we spoke about earlier. The cardboard ones, they pop open. You mentioned something in the last segment about barrels being stacked on each other. I don't want anybody's barrel stacked on my barrel. Is that a request that I can make, that my barrel is pushed in? Because sometimes you get the barrels and they're twisted up.
You can make a lot of requests.
Really?
Yes, you can. You can make a lot of requests. And the thing about it is that shippers aren't acquainted. They don't know. They're not told. It's a little sad, but in the same instance, that's why we're here. If you have something very fragile,
Yeah.
you can let the agent know it's fragile. They will put that sticker on. They will write fragile.
Just like the airline.
Just like the airline.
Oh,
they
I'm
can
so happy
they
you're
will
telling me
bubble
this.
wrap it. They will. But guess what?
Why?
Cost. There's a cost
I have
to
to
it.
pay for that?
You have to pay for it.
Just like the airline.
Just like the airline. Just like the airline.
So So I might have to pay a little extra.
Yes.
But it will be secure.
But it will be secured. As I said, items are handled, and we try our very best to make sure that we handle them securely and
flat
properly.
Screen television. Imagine this scenario. It's close to somebody's box with olive oil seeping through that box. Seeping through my box with my television, 70-inch flat screen television. Creates a mess in my box with my flat screen television.
But did you insure it?
Insure?
Yes. Did you insure it?
Insure?
You have to insure it, yes.
I don't understand that.
Okay then.
I never
So you
insured
went
anything.
and bought a 70-inch,
Yeah.
and it
No,
is...
this is just a scenario, so don't bother to watch this Paula show and think I have a 70-inch
She
television
loves
in my
shopping.
house.
She got
No,
it at a
I
cheap
don't.
price.
It's a scenario, please. I'm begging you.
Okay.
It's the olive oil seeping through the... yes.
Before we even think about the olive oil seeping through,
Insure. So wait, all these years I've been sending barrels and packages. I've never insured any. You're saying that I should have?
it's a risk to ship, and yes, you should
What
have.
you mean? So it's a risk to be a broker, it's a risk to ship?
It's a risk to go on a plane.
Oh, don't say that. I love to travel.
I love to travel too, but it is a risk.
I know it's a risk, but I don't
And
want to think about
I
it.
know when you're buying your airline ticket, they give you that pop-up option to insure, don't they?
They do actually.
They do.
But I really don't accept it.
Okay, but it's a risk. And what if? This is what a lot of us are afraid of.
So
The
stay with
what
me.
if.
So I should insure my barrels?
You should. You should.
I thought that when I pay to ship my barrels and whatever packages, that the shipping company will be responsible automatically should anything go wrong.
Of course, with leniency. Of course, with if it is our fault. Of course, that if there is evidence, of course, we'll stand to some responsibility and liability. But with fragile items, with your barrel full of glassware for your wedding that you just shopped
I
for.
have been careless for real. You save your little change. You travel and you fill your barrels from top to bottom, bottom to top. And how much is insurance?
Ask your agents. It range from 10, 15, it depends.
10
They will
US?
give it 10 US, 15 US, they'll charge you extra. You want that, it's an extra
No.
service. So it is
yes.
I mean,
I'm going
some
to insure next time.
some persons may argue the point that, oh, I already paid $100.
That's what I'm
I already
thinking.
paid 80 US. But that 80 US is just your traveling distance.
Yes, for them to
That
to
80 US is
collect
just
it.
to lift up that heavy
Right.
barrel that you
Place
just...
it in the truck, drive
Yes.
it down to Miami.
Yes. However, when your barrel gets here and it's destroyed, and you didn't get no form of insurance, and you never read the fine print that we are not responsible.
Wow.
A lot of us don't read. A lot of us just sign where they say to sign.
That's what I've been doing for years because I took it for granted that my $100 takes care of everything.
No.
I'm
So
learning more
there are
now.
times where customers come, I didn't ship my barrel that way. Why is it coming out the container looking like this? My box smashed up. Who responsible? It was a risk you took to ship it in the first place, and we really apologize.
Freight collect versus paying at the point of sending.
Well, this is the scenario.
I don't do freight collect. I somehow
Because you
think that
just like how you said, you love to make sure you budget.
I like to make sure everything is in order.
Some persons prefer wherever they are. They are spending their last dollar.
Not me.
There are persons like that. They're spending their last dollar, and when they arrive home, and they reach home, they have money tucked away. They are going to pay that. But always keep in mind, At some point, the monies has to be sent back, and it depends on what agency you use, I should say. Because if it's Leparken to Leparken, just calling a reference,
Yes.
Leparken is going to have an account here. They can just put it in.
Right.
But if it's from a different entity to a different entity,
Okay.
we have to wire the funds. You have to send. So that's bank
So it's a
charges right there.
Bank charges.
You're paying bank charges, another service.
I never thought about that, but I'm not a freight collect girl at all. I believe that the process should be completed. I'm sending a package.
You're going
I
to
have
pay.
my money.
You're going
Let
to
me
pay.
pay you. I even leave a little tip for the people.
Oh, you're one of those.
I
We love
tip
you.
Them. I tip them because, well, the apartment is right there, first floor.
Yes.
But somehow I just feel that reward sweetens labor.
It does, especially when maybe you may not be on the 5th floor, but the barrel heavy. Because you got everything in
Why
there.
did you have to say that? Girl, it's rampant. so the preference should be pay the charges.
Pay the charges.
At the end.
If you do not want, but you see there are different scenarios again.
Yes.
Sometimes someone send the barrel.
Oh my, talking about someone send the barrel and the people are at the port fussing. Why have I paid taxi fare? Why have I paid port charges and everything else? So it's $400 for a barrel that I don't even care to take home. And some persons actually leave the barrel at the port.
Some persons leave it there. Some persons, I have customers that I've made sure I call them. Hi, good day. May I speak to X? X speaking. Okay, I have a barrel for. Me not tell nobody send a barrel give me. Me not have that kind of money for paying no freight. I make it stay down there, and the barrel stays there until auction period, and it's already been shipped. Charges have already been paid because, of course, I can't. It's consolidated.
Expires.
Of course, they don't care. They don't
But that's
care.
somebody's money. And the person is, sending.
Being kind-hearted to serve.
Yeah.
I've heard. Those are things that I said, but
Well, maybe it's important, but we're speaking now, it's always important then to tell your family members or friends overseas that you'd prefer the money as opposed to them sending you a barrel.
yes, I think it saves time. I think it warms the desire much more if they know before you send. And of course, especially during the Christmas initiative,
The
some
dollar
people,
barrel?
it is Christmas initiative. It is nowhere close to $1 anymore. It is the Christmas initiative. And what happened is that kind-hearted family members are going to shop and they're going to send. And then when you go and you see what's in there and you say, well, I done all them stuff home, what she sent all these things. This is the attitude they have. So I'm just saying, sometimes pick up the phone. Would you like a Christmas initiative? You want me
As
to?
opposed to trying to surprise the person.
Yeah.
Tonight, Miss Donica Brown is sitting in with us, and it's Wadadley Shippers and Retail
Shop.
Retail Shop. Yes. We're at the port now, waiting for this barrel.
Well, before we get to the port, you made mention of their expectations.
Of course, their expectations. You promised.
But what happens is the sender is going to call, Auntie, I send you a barrel. Call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Auntie goes to sleep, wake up, and in the morning she calls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The barrel should have arrived overnight.
Yes.
Stop. You just said yes.
I
was
think
just
what
playing.
happened is there is not enough information given.
Okay.
Auntie, I'm sending you a barrel. They're going to send it off on Saturday. It's going to give us 12 to 14 days. Give them a date.
Yeah.
Give them a name. Say where it's coming from.
I have had situations where I'm told to collect my release. I collect my release. I pay $50, $60, whatever the case is. And the container is not unstuffed. Why bother to harass me to pay you for a release and I have to wait 2 and 3 days for a container to be unstuffed. That's unethical.
In your case,
I'm not happy about that.
in my case, I would say it is unethical.
It is highly unethical.
But there are some persons, when they hear the container or the boat reach, they want their paper. No, I'm serious. They will come to you ranting, okay, well, give me my paper. The container is here. Even though the container is not unstuffed. But what Daddy Shippers and Retail Shop doesn't operate like that. I like to see my customers' goods. All I need to see is the tag with the name. Paula Lee. Paula Lee, you can come, the container is open. I'm not going to call you before. And even if you call me 1,000,000 times, I'm going to tell you, you'll get your release when the container is unstuffed.
Because you know what's the other problem? Sometimes my name might be on a list.
Yeah, and
good intention, but my goods are not here. The goods have not arrived.
Just like we explained earlier.
Yes.
The trailer may not have left.
Exactly, but my name is on the manifest.
But your name is on the manifest. It came ahead of time and it just didn't make, or it may have been left in, it may be, as it was unstuffed off of the trailer, it was put in a corner for oversight. Something. It may have maybe.
Sometimes people's barrels are shipped to wrong destinations.
Exactly. So it may have gone on the Dominica container.
Yeah.
You know, these are scenarios that take place.
I'm at the port. I go to the tally clerk.
Yes. Very important.
Okay.
When you go to the tally clerk is going to assist you in finding your goods. Most often they will tell you, you coming for a barrel? They will tell you on the gallery. Just have to take your time. It's not all the time you're going to be able to pinpoint your barrel because maybe you didn't ship it. But, you know, the tally clerks will come and they'll assist you. But inside of the warehouse, they have their designated areas where they put certain items. So when they read their release and they see, okay, they're going to go, they're going to look on the measurements, they're going to look to see what it is, and they'll know where to go to find the goods.
I'm just going through the process here. The tally clerk, the customs supervisor, and then the
customs officer, you escort them to the goods.
And then they unstuff it.
Unstuff whatever it is, because here is the work of the officer. He is checking to see what you have.
No contraband.
No contraband whatsoever.
No plastic bags. Girl, they confiscated them.
That's good.
I tie up my stuff in plastic bags.
No. No.
But I can't tie them in paper. They're going to see
No. We are going to take time. We're going to take them out because the plastic bands are banned.
Nice Bath and Body Works plastic and...
Sorry, sweetheart. Take the paper bag the next time around. No plastic bags.
The customs officer, and then he applies charges. I go to the cashier.
2 scenarios. 1, if you have your invoice, he's going to send you straight to the broker. 2, customs have eliminated in a way to make it a bit easier for you. They will either enter it into the system.
Asikuda.
I love Asikuda.
Customs, I love Asikuda. Boy, I used to be at the port. It's an all-day affair. Now with Asikuda,
clear runnings. Unless, yes.
And I'm on my way.
Yes.
That's a good system.
So if you have your invoice, they're going to direct you straight. There are brokers in the port. They'll direct you straight to a broker where we have to know. We're going to tie you in the system now. So if you never had anything legal, you're going to get it now. You're going to get your driver's license, you're going to get your passport, and we're going to have you in the Asikuda system, and then we're going to tie it. So whatever charges, when you're ready to do your taxes and so forth, you can say, but I bought this.
Exactly.
All your references are there.
But Asikuda creates a problem for the brokers.
Yes, it does.
Because...
once upon a time, brokers used to have so much work.
Right.
But it doesn't take away much. The work has lessened, yes. But we still need brokers to clear our items, as I just said. Because there are instances, the customs officer is going to tell you to get your invoice and go straight to the broker.
I'm at the cashier. And then when I leave the cashier, I go to that little booth.
It's not, the little boot is not there anymore. Things are changing.
I
Remember,
haven't
we
been
could.
there now. What do you call that?
That's where the port charges.
The port charges.
So what happens is, depending on how long your goods have been there, you're going to get a stamp that will allow you drive-in entry to the port.
Okay.
So upon paying the cashier, after you pay the cashier, you're going to go to another customs officer who is going to give you a release order. That release order, along with your release or way bill, is stapled together, stamped by the port authority, and then you get access to drive into the port.
And then I collect my goods.
Collect your goods. And there are 2 checkpoints. Do not come to the port, have your goods there, know they're damaged, and when you reach home, you cry and calling the agent in the morning and saying that your television damaged or you
Check
borrowed.
the goods there.
Check your goods at the port. When you find out that there is something wrong with your items, call the agency on the spot. Don't take your goods home. We're not liable when it leaves the port.
When I go to the port, I feel as if I'm in Fort Knox.
It's like something
I have to go here,
up and
I
down.
have to go there.
Get a broker.
I know, but for me, it's like a social event.
Oh, because you get to see
I
others.
get to see my friend and they say, hi, Paula, and all my, hi to all my port workers and my marsha and my Effie and my everybody else. It's a nice atmosphere.
When you come to the port, it's not for you to stay all day. We don't mean for you to stay all day. We try our best to get, as you come in, to get you out. However, there are precautions that you can come with. They're there, come dressed appropriately, footwear and clothing. I'm not going to stop taking it because I am going to tell you.
Next time I'm coming with my mask. My
Yes,
nose mask.
we require you wear a mask as well. If you have your helmet, wear a helmet.
Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. We'll be right back after this commercial break. I remember years ago when we barrel shopped in Puerto Rico. You could return the empty barrels to Puerto Rico so you don't have to keep purchasing barrels each time you want to get some shopping done. Can't I just return them on the same ship that brought them?
Yes, you can. A little expense, but yes, you can.
What do you mean a little expense? I hope it's not going to be more than the cost of the barrel.
It just might be, especially if it's empty.
Especially if it's empty?
Especially if it's empty. It depends. There is an export that has to be done. So
This
you
sounds
have.
complicated already.
It is, and it can be. And also, you have to contact the vessel agency. Most times, the vessel agency is going to still tell you to find a broker.
A broker?
Because you're sending off something, is going out of the country, and then a customs officer has to inspect it.
It's empty.
It's empty, but they have to inspect it.
And then when it gets there, what happened? I
A
have to
broker
pay to
in the
clear it?
US.
Tom, let me keep the barrels. I'm selling them for $80. People sell the plastic barrels for $120.
And you're selling for
I
80.
will sell it for $80 if anybody wants to purchase it from me. No, seriously, I'll
There's
sell it for $80.
nothing wrong with that.
Persons shop abroad and they're told you'll get a duty free.
When people hear about duty free, all they hear is free. They don't hear anything else. They don't even understand what they just said. All they know is free, zero. That's all they're
So
seeing.
you don't pay anything.
You don't pay anything. But what they don't seem to realize, that duty is only one of the taxes. When you're paying government taxes, customs duties, revenue recovery charge, which is RRC, Antigua Barbuda sales tax, which is ABST, environmental levy, which some persons just say levy, and you have national solid waste as well, which has to do with the plastic bottles and so forth. Yes.
But some of that solid waste tax doesn't apply to my barrels.
Not to your barrel, but if you
Okay.
have a load case of plastic items, yes, you have to pay national solid waste for the canned goods and so forth. Yes, you do have to pay.
Okay.
All right. But
So
the-
you may not be paying duty, but all
these
those
other taxes
are
that are applied to
your
it,
goods.
you'll have to pay. So you need to
So I can
differentiate.
understand why people are upset sometimes.
Yes, they have all right to be upset, because what happened is they didn't get the knowledge. Nobody really told them. They didn't break it down. You understand? So this is what I love to do. One of the hypest thing in Antigua right now is the cars.
Yes.
So they come in to clear the cars and they want a duty-free paper. And they went to the minister and they get duty-free. And then we say, okay, so you have to pay custom. When me have to pay custom $3,000 when I got a duty-free? I said, yeah, you got duty off, but you didn't get the levy off.
And the
You didn't get the
ABST.
ABST off.
So anyone who tells you that you're getting a duty free from now on, ask them, what about the ABST, the RRC,
And the levy.
and the levies? Because duty free doesn't mean that it's zero. It means you'll have to pay charges. It's just the duty that's off. What about those persons who would have lived abroad?
I would ask them to go to the finance department, the Prime Minister's office, I should say, sorry. When you go to the Prime Minister's office and you explain you're a returning resident, they will ask you to fill out a form, and in turn you get a letter.
Okay.
So in that letter, my memory serves me correct, you get a time period, 3 months before, 3 months after. At a period, whatever period of time they give to you to get your goods in.
Okay.
And your goods, we don't expect you to
New
come home with
items?
all your old items.
So all new items.
We don't expect you to come with
So I can
all
go
old.
shopping and bring my new items.
Once your receipt states a year.
Receipt.
Okay, yes, you buy your valuable things, you know you're coming home, you know Christmas, you know you're coming
So
home
start
next year.
shopping early.
Start shopping early. So at least.
Because
it's,
anything that's purchased after a year, you would have to.
it's new, it's brand new. But we're just saying, we want you to bring your valuable things. And keep in mind, sometimes I've seen some returning residents, I've seen some containers. You can rid that kettle because we're now using electrical kettle. You can't
some
save
things
that
are better
because
left behind.
remember, you know, your charges in the shipping alone is going to break you, and then you don't meet the broker as yet. You have to pay the broker to do all that running up
So
and down.
leave some things behind.
Leave some things
But
behind.
sentimental value.
Sentimental value, and that will lessen your cost with regards to the shipping and even the amount of lines the broker has to enter into the system. You don't have to pay as much.
It sounds painful. So, in addition to all that, you mentioned that electrical appliances attract levy.
Yes. I remember there was a client that I had, and excited. So she came and she wanted to get out her fridge. She wanted to get out her blender, she can't wait. And then I said to her, okay, you have to pay $100. And she said, what? I said, yes, you have to pay $100 levy extra. Because even though she got a value of $500 and we kind of estimated you would have paid about $250, I said to her, but you have to pay extra $100 for a whole $100 for the refrigerator, which would have bought it up to about $350. And then I said, and for the blender, you're gonna have to pay another $20. She said, what?
Another what?
$20. So that $250, we know had to add the $170, and then she didn't pay me as yet. And she got all done. I said, no. I said, we have to pay the levy charges. They are automatic. So you're bringing them, even if you got everything else, you have to pay that levy charge.
So it seems as if, even with the Asikuda system, the brokers are necessary.
They are necessary.
When one is planning to ship anything, never mind whatever it is, might be worth our while to have a conversation with a broker.
Broker. You know what excited me a day? One day we were in the boat. Nothing was happening because before time we used to have so many people waiting on us. That people used to be outside arguing. And this day there's nothing carrying on.
Oh my.
And then we saw persons coming in. And this guy was arguing. Last time I came, I didn't need a broker. They don't tell me everything is in the system. The custom officer going to do, and he went on and on.
No, he needs one.
But now he needs one. Why?
Why?
Last time he shipped 1 barrel. He got so excited. This time he shipped 5. Customs not going to value the 5 barrels. So for all those items, the officer had to put a value on the bill of sale.
When you finish, you tell me about I like to shop. I never ship 5 barrels.
Well, you'll be amazed. Yes.
5
So
barrels.
that's why I said to you, always have your invoice. You don't know. You do not know. And one of the key things that I have to say, as a broker, there are persons who will come and they'll love to say, I didn't pay this the last time. Did you produce your invoice the last time? Maybe the officer just gave you an estimate. Maybe he just did something like that a while ago. If you don't want to argue, if you want to be dealt with fairly, just walk with your invoice. We don't have to deal with estimation. Key important. And as long as you have your invoice, I will always have a work to do.
Oh, so that's the crux of the matter.
Not the crux of the matter.
You want to help us as much as possible.
Yes.
You want to remain relevant.
Always relevant.
Danica Brown, thank you for coming to the
It's a pleasure being here.
Yes, way more learned now.
Yes.
All right. So the next time I'm planning on shipping items to Antigua, I'm going to speak with my broker before. I'm going to make sure I have my invoices, and if ever I get duty free, I should not make a fuss to pay the other charges. Duty free doesn't mean that you don't pay anything at all. Come on. We need some revenue in the country. Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. We enjoyed having you with us tonight. Have a good evening and goodbye.